Post-training notice. National First Class Registered Exorcist. Chapter 41. Banquet. The cell phone rang. It was Chi Wei. "Are you free next week?" Chi Wei asked. "Come out for a meal, ba." "Hello? Kikai." JIXIAN said in surprise, "Are you in Beijing?" "I came to take the exam." Chi Wei's side was very noisy, and he said, "I'm at a nightclub." "Tell your husband, and let's pick a place later, ba." JIXIAN said yes, as he hung up the phone, and said to Xiang Cheng, "Chi Wei also come for the exam." Xiang Cheng, with a book on his face, lay beside JIXIAN and let out an N. "He wants to have a meal with us," JIXIAN said. "Not going," Xiang Cheng replied. JIXIAN. Did Xiang Cheng really dislike Chi Wei? The relationship between the two of them was really strange. They would be on good terms one moment and then on bad terms the next, but at least Chi Wei and Chen Zhen were still very good to Xiang Cheng. JIXIAN knew that there might be some grievances between them from the past generation that couldn't be forgotten. He also remembered that Zhou Mokuo, in the elevator that day, had asked, "Remember me?" Xiang Cheng replied that he didn't remember, but they must have met before. "Oh, okay ba," JIXIAN said, "then I'll send Kikai a text message." "Do you want to go?" Xiang Cheng still didn't remove the book and said in a deep voice, "If you want to go, then go ba." "No." JIXIAN replied, "In fact, Kikai and I only have an okay relationship." Kita's WeChat message also arrived. "Director Chen's birthday is tomorrow. He asked me to remind you guys to remember to buy gifts." JIXIAN thought, how could there be someone who would remind others to buy him birthday present? "Fine, I'll just buy any present ba. Chen Zhen's birthday is tomorrow, and we have to go buy him a present." JIXIAN said, "How much should we spend on it?" "Not going," Xiang Cheng said in a deep voice. JIXIAN. It seemed kind of bad to not go to this one. JIXIAN felt that Chen Zhen had really worked very meticulously, and last time, it had only been thanks to this case that Xiang Cheng had found his family's heirloom, the Sword of Wisdom. So, should he buy something himself and tell Kita to give it to Chen Zhen? JIXIAN was a bit dejected, but Xiang Cheng should have the final say ba. If he didn't want to go, then they wouldn't go. "Do you want to go?" Xiang Cheng asked under the book. JIXIAN replied, I kind of do, we haven't seen Kita and the others for a long time." "Do you like Kita and that woman?" Xiang Cheng's voice was very calm. JIXIAN replied, "We've all braved countless untold dangers together, don't you like them?" "I don't," Xiang Cheng replied. "Then let's forget about it." JIXIAN said, "I'll ask Kita to give Chen Zhen something tomorrow ba." "Really though, they actually like you very much." JIXIAN knew that there must have been many problems in the past, but Chen Zhen, Kita, and Zhou Wanyuan were all part of the younger generation. Just like Chi Wei, their parents may have held animosity towards Xiang Cheng's, but their children didn't have these feelings. "Am I very unsociable and eccentric?" Xiang Cheng still kept the book over his face. "No." JIXIAN said, "I don't know why you dislike them. But I value your thoughts. I know Kita and the others bear no ill will towards you, but if you really feel uncomfortable, let's forget it." Xiang Cheng didn't speak. He was quiet for a moment and said, "Let's still go and cultivate good relations." JIXIAN smiled and said, "I feel like you. You feel like I what?" Xiang Cheng replied. JIXIAN felt that Xiang Cheng was actually very eager to make friends, but sometimes he just had a harsh mouth. Just like with Chen Zhen's plan, Xiang Cheng had a kind of unnatural tacit understanding with him, the kind of unspoken tacit understanding between smart people that easily made both of them happy thanks to their mutual understanding. "They don't like me," Xiang Cheng replied. They just like you and think you're cute, and take me as your tag along. If that Zhou Wanyuan hadn't seen you with me that day, she wouldn't come to ask me to handle the case, and Chen Zhen wouldn't have paid attention to me. How could you say that? JIXIAN said. Chen Zhen even asked afterwards if you wanted to join the Exorcist committee. They think I'm dirty, Xiang Cheng said with the book on his face, because I'm the son of a snake Yao. Only you didn't think I had an evil spirit in me after learning that I have the Ba snake spirit in my body. Ah. JIXIAN said, I feel like Kita and the others definitely don't think that. They do, Xiang Cheng said. In ancient legends, snakes are dark and evil things. Didn't you see it written in the study materials? A snake's nature is licentious and aggressive, and snakes are different from other animals. Tigers and wolves will hurt people because they are hungry, Xiang Cheng said, but snakes don't need a reason to attack anyone. They just think you should die, and a snake will attack without any warning. The idea that if you don't provoke it, it won't attack you, doesn't exist with it. Is that why there was the saying of snake essence disease? JIXIAN thought, but Xiang Cheng doesn't feel like this at all. However, aside from how he treats me, he does have a dark vibe to him. He couldn't even be bothered to talk to anyone else. JIXIAN took off the book on Xiang Cheng's face. Xiang Cheng's expression was as usual, and he looked at JIXIAN. It's not like you're Voldemort. JIXIAN laughed. No matter what you are, I will still like you very much. I know. Half of me is a snake, Xiang Cheng replied. You're not an exorcist, so you don't have the habit of avoiding snake Yao. JIXIAN said, even if I were an exorcist, I really wouldn't be afraid. Also, the Ba snake is so cute. No matter how cute it is, it's still a scary thing. Xiang Cheng's eyebrows twitched, and he said, it's greedy and cruel, even if you're not afraid of it, many people are. All right, stop talking like this. JIXIAN said, tell me, what should I buy for Chen Zhen tomorrow? I'll mail it to him through Aobao, and treat it as returning the favor for the Sword of Wisdom. How's that? A favor? Xiang Cheng sighed, thought about it, and said, let's go Ba. Forget it. Let's go. Let's just not. I said, we'll go. JIXIAN felt like his domineering side was leaking out. It was like hearing Xiang Cheng's take it off back then, so he obediently replied, okay. Although it was very hot at night, JIXIAN still held Xiang Cheng and rubbed his arms. He felt that he wasn't cold-blooded at all. Kita sent another WeChat message the next morning, asking JIXIAN not to be surprised no matter what he saw. It couldn't be that Chen Zhen was going to wear a bikini and put on a show. JIXIAN was completely confused. He and Xiang Cheng still went to the library to study during the day and planned to buy Chen Zhen a gift in the evening. No more studying, Xiang Cheng said. I can't pass the exam, forget it. Don't give up, JIXIAN said. However much you study is however much you know, ma. Xiang Cheng said, I got none of these multiple choice questions right. Think about it, JIXIAN comforted him. You will definitely get full marks on the practical exam, and with that kind of strength, you can squish the multiple choice questions underfoot and get a few points. Then, you just need to casually answer the analysis questions to nab 10 points. Won't you pass then, La? You only need 60 points to pass. Xiang Cheng said, I've taken the exam several times and couldn't pass, so finally, I relied on connections to get a temporary qualification certificate. I'm not scholar material, so this is unfair to me. It doesn't matter. JIXIAN insisted, you haven't even taken the exam yet, so how can you know that you won't pass? I'll pass you notes during the exam, Ba. Xiang Cheng was encouraged by JIXIAN every time into feeling fully confident that he could pass. However, after doing the real mock exam, he made a lot of mistakes and couldn't even get 20 points. He hovered between the edge of the heaven that was JIXIAN's praise and the abyss of hell, and was on the verge of becoming schizophrenic. What gift should we buy for Chen Zhen? JIXIAN was shopping with Xiang Cheng on Fusheng Street with his bag on his back. Buy him a down jacket. Xiang Cheng obviously still bore a grudge against Chen Zhen for his inconsistent behavior. That's not good, is it? The corner of JIXIAN's mouth twitched. In these last hot dog days of summer, giving someone a down jacket felt like they were dooming the person to a bad end. It's cheap. Xiang Cheng saw that Nike was doing an event with down jackets and said, that's it? So, JIXIAN bought Chen Zhen a thick down coat. It already felt very hot just in his hands, so he finally asked the shop attendant to wrap it up, and he would take it to Chen Zhen. Chen Zhen called them and happened to be able to pick them up on the way. They waited in front of Fusheng Street for a long time before a car honked. Happy birthday! JIXIAN said with a smile. Thank you. Chen Zhen said. Get in the car. Chen Zhen had bought a lot of food and was going to take them over to Kita's house for a celebration banquet. Xiang Cheng sat in the front passenger seat, while JIXIAN sat in the back seat. Next to him was a very handsome, very thin, and very pale boy. Hi. JIXIAN greeted him. The boy didn't respond. He turned his head and touched JIXIAN with one hand, then touched his shoulder. Chen Zhen smiled and said, this is my little brother, Chen Lang. He's greeting you right now. JIXIAN remembered, Chen Zhen had mentioned that he had a little brother. Hello. JIXIAN knew that although he couldn't hear him, he should be able to feel it. You can write on his hand. Chen Zhen said with a smile. He can understand. JIXIAN wrote hello on Chen Lang's hand and greeted him. Chen Lang smiled and nodded. He wore a pair of decorative glasses with a black frame, and he was both thin and pale, with trimmed eyebrows, his nose bridge a beautiful outline, and gentle lips. He looked like a lovely girl, with slender fingers that were a little cold. JIXIAN wrote on his hand, my name is JIXIAN. Chen Lang, my name is Chen Lang, and you call me Xiao Lang. JIXIAN laughed. Xiang Cheng looked at Chen Lang from the rear-view mirror. Chen Zhen noticed his gaze and took the initiative to explain, it's a congenital condition. When he was a child, I used the heart lamp to reflect feelings into his heart, taught him a simple understanding of the world, and then slowly taught him to write. What if there was no heart lamp? Xiang Cheng asked. Then there really would have been no way, Chen Zhen said. I've paid attention to many children who are missing three senses, and they are completely closed off from the outside world. Xiang Cheng didn't ask any more. JIXIAN took out the chocolate Xiang Cheng had bought for him and gave some to Chen Lang. Chen Zhen glanced at it and asked, what did you give him to eat? Chocolate. JIXIAN and Chen Lang chewed some delicious food. Don't eat too much. Chen Zhen replied, then explained to Xiang Cheng, he usually only eats rice and soup. Chen Lang sensed that JIXIAN was talking, reached out his fingers, and drew a question mark on his shoulder. JIXIAN rubbed Chen Lang's head, put one hand on his shoulder, took his hand, and explained in his hand the matter with the chocolate. They talked about this very simple matter for a long time, before Chen Lang nodded and expressed that he understood. Xiang Cheng, does he work? No. Chen Zhen replied, he's at home every day, reading, and I hired an auntie to keep him company. JIXIAN wrote on Chen Lang's palm, introducing Xiang Cheng to him. Chen Lang moved his hands in sign language, and Chen Zhen saw from the rear-view mirror and explained, Xiang Cheng, Xiao Lang is greeting you. N. Xiang Cheng nodded and said, greetings to him as well. After saying hello, the four people arrived at Kita's house. JIXIAN and Chen Lang had automatically become friends, and JIXIAN really liked him. The feeling he gave JIXIAN was just like that of taking care of a small animal, and he couldn't help but want to play with him, so he led him to walk slowly towards Kita's house. Chen Lang and Ji Xiaoduo were about the same height, and they all went into Kita's house. Zhou Wanyuan had already arrived, and with a completely bored expression, she said, "Director Chen, happy birthday." Saying this, she threw her birthday present at him impatiently. Zhou Wanyuan had given Chen Zhen a bottle of cologne, while Kita gave him a Gundam model. Chen Zhen was very happy and came over to write on Chen Lang's hand, telling him that he had received some gifts. Chen Lang nodded to show that he was also very happy. Ji Xiaoduo and Chen Lang sat on the sofa, and Ji Xiaoduo was in charge of conveying to him Kita and Zhou Wanyuan's greetings. Xiang Cheng went to rummage through the refrigerator and made soup. Once he put a lid on it, he went over to the sofa, sat down and started pressing the remote control. Chen Zhen said, "Xiaoduo, you guys play, I'll go make food." N. Ji Xiaoduo held Chen Lang's hand and communicated with him, while Xiang Cheng absently pressed the remote control. "Chen Lang, Xiang Cheng is your gig." Ji Xiaoduo, "No, I like him, but I don't know whether he likes me or not." No matter who Ji Xiaoduo told, no one in the world could keep a secret better than Chen Lang. Chen Lang drew an exclamation point to show his complex mood, and then gave a thumbs up to Ji Xiaoduo to show that he was cheering him on. Chen Lang was like a slow computer. His input could only be sign language when his older brother was there, or else the input would have to be entirely through touch writing. Ji Xiaoduo felt that his entire brain's thinking slowed down as he broke things down into keywords, sentence by sentence, while talking with Chen Lang. "Chen Lang, how did all of you meet my gig?" Ji Xiaoduo, "Catching Yaoguai." Chen Lang nodded and wrote, "Did you get hurt?" "No, it's very relaxing." Ji Xiaoduo answered. Chen Lang, "Thank you guys for taking care of him. I was afraid he had no friends." Ji Xiaoduo laughed, held Chen Lang in his arms and rubbed his head. Chen Lang seemed to enjoy this feeling and rested on his thigh. Chen Lang was very handsome and could rank at least among the top 3 hottest guys that Ji Xiaoduo had ever seen. His facial features were delicate, his eyelashes were very long, and his eyes were closed the entire time. Ji Xiaoduo had neither lust nor desire for this flower vase type of beautiful man, but he couldn't help but want to pet him. It was like raising a quiet, gentle, beautiful young cat. Chen Zhen came over with a smile, wearing the down jacket that Ji Xiaoduo had gifted him. He let Chen Lang stretch out his hand to touch it, and wrote in his hand. Ji Xiaoduo suddenly realized why Chen Zhen reminded them to bring him gifts. He had wanted to tell his little brother that he had some good friends. Chen Lang probably often asked him about making friends, worried that he had less time to make friends because he had to keep him company. Ji Xiaoduo thought that Chen Lang couldn't see, hear, or speak, but he could eat. Therefore, eating became the method of communication between the two of them. Ji Xiaoduo went to rummage through the fruit in Kita's house, picked out some of the lighter ones, and gave a little of everything to Chen Lang to try. The two of them began to chat about food, and it was clear that Ji Xiaoduo had found a common topic that they could talk about with mutual agreement and enthusiasm. Chen Lang ate very light things, with almost no oil or salt, and also didn't eat things with strong flavors. His favorite food was white rice and sponge gourd soup, so Ji Xiaoduo talked to Xiang Cheng about what to cook while talking to Chen Lang about the cooking. But this exchange was too laborious and time-consuming, so having just talked halfway through it, Xiang Cheng got up to cook. Ji Xiaoduo went far off topic while chatting randomly with Chen Lang, even telling him about his birthday and when his friends had called over a duck for him. Chen Lang. Chen Lang kept laughing until tears came out of his eyes. Ji Xiaoduo thought about it, then, in a very proper way, wrote in his hand, telling him about how he had felt when they had called over a duck. "What are you talking about that's making you laugh so happily?" Chen Zhen washed his hands and came out, saying, "Time for dinner." As they took their seats, Chen Zhen opened a bottle of red wine and said, "I have to drive later so I won't drink, but you guys drink. I don't drink. Zhi Xiaoduo and Chen Lang drank lemonade. Zhou Wanyuan hadn't fully recovered from her injury, so she also didn't drink. Only Kita and Xiang Cheng each poured a glass, and everyone toasted. Happy birthday. For world peace. Zhi Xiaoduo held up Chen Lang's hand, and everyone clinked glasses. Ding. Zhi Xiaoduo and Chen Lang each had a bowl of soup and a bowl of white rice in front of them. Why do only the two of them have that? Zhou Wanyuan asked, what is this? It smells really good. I can give you all a taste. Zhi Xiaoduo also didn't know what it was, but he was already used to it. Recently, Xiang Cheng would occasionally make soup like this for him to drink. It would need to stew for a whole afternoon, but this time they used a pressure cooker, so it didn't taste as good as when Xiang Cheng made it at home. Xiang Cheng said, I made it for Xiao Lang. Thank you. Chen Zhen picked up his chopsticks and said, let's eat ba. During the meal, they talked about the exam, the exorcism committee, capturing Yao, and all sorts of random gossip. Chen Lang only tasted a mouthful of soup, showed a surprised expression, and wrote on Zhi Xiaoduo's thigh, Buddha jumps over the wall. Zhi Xiaoduo had a whole mass of black lines over his head, and thought what a shame. Wu, I also don't know. So this is the legendary Buddha jumps over the wall, and wrote, if you like it, drink more. Chen Lang, so jealous of you. Zhi Xiaoduo wrote out 6 exclamation marks to indicate his complicated mood. At Chen Zhen's birthday party, whatever anyone said, Zhi Xiaoduo would write out on Chen Lang's thigh. 2 little shows, Kita laughed. Zhi Xiaoduo. Zhi Xiaoduo, what books do you usually read? Chen Lang, Braille ones. Their topic began to shift to books, and Zhi Xiaoduo poured out a whole pile of words. Chen Lang kept listening until 9 o'clock. Chen Zhen wanted to go, and only then did Xiang Cheng say with a flushed face, let's go. Do you want to come to my house to play? Chen Zhen said. How about you two come to my house ba, and Xiaoduo can chat with Xiao Lang some more? No. Xiang Cheng waved his hand. We'll go next time. Chen Zhen insisted, it's fine, I have air conditioner over in my place. Xiang Cheng refused directly and left with Zhi Xiaoduo. Zhi Xiaoduo hugged Chen Lang in farewell and wrote, I'll come to see you in a few days. Xiang Cheng led Zhi Xiaoduo, and Chen Zhen led his little brother. Chen Zhen said, bye, and let's get together when we're free. Xiang Cheng ignored him and went home with Zhi Xiaoduo. Do you not like Xiao Lang? Zhi Xiaoduo felt that Xiang Cheng was very quiet tonight. What? Xiang Cheng said, no, I don't mind if you make friends. Zhi Xiaoduo looked at Xiang Cheng suspiciously, trying to judge whether or not he was jealous. Xiang Cheng's face was completely flushed from drinking, and he laughed and said, I really don't mind, I just think that Chen Zhen really doesn't have it easy. I still think they like you very much, Zhi Xiaoduo said. Xiang Cheng said without any cynical remarks this time, sometimes, I am too sensitive. They turned sideways to make room for a migrant worker who had gotten on the bus. Zhi Xiaoduo hugged the pole and leaned against Xiang Cheng, he was a little sleepy. It was very muggy in Beijing that night. Xiang Cheng took a bath, and he was sweating all over and lying in bed thinking about things. Zhi Xiaoduo didn't bother him, knowing that he was probably caught up in a fierce battle between his thoughts. Zhi Xiaoduo lay on the bed and was sending a message to Kita to inquire about the Chen brothers, planning on going to see Chen Lang to play in a few days. After drinking alcohol, Kita was sweating all over, and he lay in bed and sent messages to Zhi Xiaoduo. Zhou Wanyuan was staying in Kita's house that night. Kita, sure enough, Director Chen still hasn't given up on getting us together. Zhi Xiaoduo, because your parents know Uncle Zhou. Kita, yes Hey. I don't even want to stay in Beijing anymore, does your Guangzhou exorcism committee lack people? Why don't I go over there ba? I'm going to take a bath. Xiang Cheng's neck had turned red, and he rushed out to take a bath with a gust of wind. "Are you having an allergic reaction?" asked JIXIAN. "I don't know." Xiang Cheng splashed cold water on himself in the bathroom. "It shouldn't be an allergic reaction, don't worry about it." JIXIAN, if he ever set me and Xiang Cheng up, that would be good. "Kita, are you planning on confessing?" JIXIAN, my best friend urged me not to confess and wants me to continue to be ambiguous with him. Anyway, men don't have anything to lose. But I can't endure it anymore. Ah. "Kita, I'm going to leave for a bit." Kita threw his cell phone away, drank a few mouthfuls of ice water, took another cold bath, put a towel on his head, and came out to adjust the air conditioner to 16 degrees. "Kita." Xiang Cheng came out after taking a bath, let out a breath, and said, "I'm going to go buy some iced beer." "Don't drink anymore," JIXIAN said, "I'll go buy you some ice ba." "What's the matter? Do you feel really bad?" "It's fine," Xiang Cheng said. "It's too late, don't go out." JIXIAN went down to the convenience store and bought some ice. He poured out some Coke with ice for Xiang Cheng, and they clinked glasses. "To world peace," JIXIAN said with a smile and continued to sit in bed and chat with Kita. Xiang Cheng's skin color returned to normal. He hugged a towel blanket to himself, turned on the fan, and drank the iced Coke. JIXIAN touched his skin, he was cold and didn't have a fever. Xiang Cheng's breathing grew louder and louder. JIXIAN, are you sick? JIXIAN touched his forehead and said, "Are you okay?" "Hot," Xiang Cheng replied, restless. JIXIAN borrowed a thermometer to take his temperature. It was normal, but Xiang Cheng just couldn't sit still and scratched himself all over. Kita sat on the bed and sent a WeChat message to JIXIAN. He stood up again, gasping for breath. A moment later, he took off his pajamas, and did 80 push-ups on the ground while shirtless. "It's stifling, I don't feel good." Xiang Cheng's handsome facial features were twisted up at this point. JIXIAN said, "Do you want to see a doctor?" Xiang Cheng took a deep breath and said, "No need, it's just too hot." JIXIAN said, "Or how about we go out and book a room with air conditioning?" Xiang Cheng waved his hand and said, "Sleep ba." JIXIAN, "What exactly?" Xiang Cheng said, "Don't talk, I want." "Quiet," JIXIAN said. "Yes," Xiang Cheng replied. Xiang Cheng chugged a large bottle with iced Coke, hiccuped, and lay in bed. JIXIAN turned off the light and was very sleepy. He sent a message to Kita saying good night. "Kita, no is Xiang Cheng okay?" JIXIAN, "What?" Kita walked around the room, holding a tie that he kept tightening around his neck, but that wasn't enough, so he began to bang his head against the wall. As he banged his head, his cell phone rang, and he felt around to reply to JIXIAN's message. "Kita, was there nothing wrong with Xiang Xiang after you guys went back?" JIXIAN, "There is a bit, he says it's very hot. But his temperature isn't high. Kita, how about you? Do you feel bad?" JIXIAN, "Not at all." Kita, what did Xiang Cheng eat in the evening that you didn't eat? JIXIAN, everyone ate the same thing. The alcohol. Kita, Chen Zhen did something to it. Too immoral. The alcohol he gave us strengthens the need for that. JIXIAN. Kita quickly called Chen Zhen. Xiang Cheng suddenly jumped out of bed and with another gust of wind, entered the bathroom. JIXIAN knocked on the door and heard the rhythmic sound of water. When the sound of water stopped, JIXIAN asked, "Xiang Cheng?" "I'm fine," Xiang Cheng said. "You sleep?" JIXIAN went back, and Kita called. "Kita, hurry up ba, Xiang Cheng also drank that wine, so now is your chance. Chen Zhen's cell phone is turned off." JIXIAN, then what about you? What are you going to do? Just beat off on your own. Kita, beating off doesn't work. I've already done that twice. This wine's effects will only go away once your internal breaths are calmed. Laozi is going crazy. JIXIAN, then what are you doing now? Kita, jacking off in bed. What else can I do? JIXIAN, what if you call someone who provides at-home service? Kita, I don't have any business cards, please call one for me. JIXIAN, I also don't have any business cards. Search online. Kita gasped, help me find some, find 5 baht. Find 5 ducks, all of which have to be 0s. No need to look at the photos, as long as they come, it's fine. JIXIAN also didn't know what to do, so he had to Baidu where to find duck door-to-door service in Beijing. Then he got back a pile of Quanjued roast duck meal delivery phone numbers. End chapter. Post-training notice. National First Class Registered Exorcist. Chapter 42. Confession. Are you done yet? Kita gasped. I'm going to explode. No. JIXIAN screeched. I couldn't find one. What about using WeChat to make a booty call? Xiang Cheng came in after taking a bath and went directly towards the bed to lay down. JIXIAN shook Xiang Cheng, only for Xiang Cheng to block him with his arm and say, don't touch me right now. Are you alright? JIXIAN asked. Kita said the alcohol, has something wrong with it? JIXIAN. Kita said, quickly help me think of something. JIXIAN, alright, wait a bit. Xiang Cheng covered his head with the blanket, that part on his lower body standing ramrod straight. He turned onto his side as he kept panting, letting out an uncomfortable sound. Kita said, as long as I have something that feels similar, it's all fine. All I need is for my whole body to feel like I'm having sex with a real person, and that will work. JIXIAN said to Kita, a blow-up doll? Buy it on Dobayo and then do rush delivery. Not fast enough. Kita said, it's already 2 a.m. JIXIAN, is a fleshlight okay? Kita, I don't have one. Wrap a condom in a wet towel and turn it inside out. JIXIAN suddenly remembered, there seemed to have been a tutorial that taught people how to make a fleshlight themselves. He began to check the tutorial and said, go downstairs first. Kita turned the tie around his neck so that it was dangling down his back instead. Completely naked, he hurried downstairs, placing his phone on the dining room table and putting it on speaker. JIXIAN's voice on the phone read, use a sippy cup and put some cornstarch in there for thickening. Kita, still naked, grabbed a cup, mixed up a cupful of starchy water, and asked, and then? Then put it in the fridge and freeze it for 6 hours. Too long. Kita opened the refrigerator, rummaged through it, and said, there's something soft, I'll just rely on my imagination. JIXIAN, cake. Is cake okay? There's leftover cake from this evening. Kita took out the cake, laid it on the table, put it thigh level with the table, and thrust into it vigorously a few times. Doesn't work. Kita's voice said on the phone. It crumbled. Xiang Cheng was very quiet, seeming to have already fallen asleep. Catfish. JIXIAN said, I saw a catfish in your fridge today. Kita said, I can't stuff it in. The catfish's mouth is too small. And it has teeth. JIXIAN, or roll up some pork belly. I can't find any pork belly. Kita said, there's only beef. It's too small. I'll look in the refrigerator, you go deal with Xiang Cheng ba. JIXIAN said, you be careful. It's the middle of the night, don't end up in the hospital with a catfish stuck on you. Kita rummaged through his fridge for a long time and said, I found a frozen chicken, I'll stuff some beef into it ba. You hurry up, use this time to find me a duck. Just leave my phone number with him. JIXIAN, okay, okay. Kita rolled up the beef, stuffed it into the belly of the whole chicken, and thawed it in the microwave. After waiting 5 minutes, there was a ding, and he pulled it out. He found some gay porn on his phone and began to play it, the volume turned up high, before he stood in front of the table with his eyes closed and started to go at it. Zhou Wanyuan, with a tired expression, yawned and came downstairs to look for water. She heard waves of moans from the dining room, and like the waves of the Yangtze River pushing her forward, she walked over in confusion. And so, Zhou Wanyuan saw Kita with his eyes closed, his whole body naked, a tie around his neck, on tiptoe, an intoxicated expression on his face, huffing and puffing as he fucked that poor frozen chicken. The chicken's neck was hanging over the edge of the table, and with Kita's movements, its head swayed toward Zhou Wanyuan. Zhou Wanyuan. In the dark night, the fiercest struggle in all history took place in JIXIAN's heart. Xiang Cheng. JIXIAN whispered. Xiang Cheng gasped but didn't speak. JIXIAN lay down for a while, thinking, should I ride him now? Should I do it just like that? His heart was almost twisted up into knots, tens of thousands of molas dying untimely deaths with every second that passed. JIXIAN made up his mind and hugged him. Xiang Cheng. When their skin touched, JIXIAN felt a sense of agitation, he felt that Xiang Cheng's whole body had gone stiff. Wait. JIXIAN gasped and let him lie down again. Then, he turned on the lamp, rummaged around for a long time, and found the massage essential oil that Xiang Cheng brought in his bag. JIXIAN turned off the lights, and the entire room went dark. Xiang Cheng didn't answer, and instead let JIXIAN touch him all over his body. It seemed that his consciousness was already completely muddled. The only sound in the dark was Xiang Cheng's pants, and JIXIAN felt around until he grasped Xiang Cheng's gigantic cock. Although he had accidentally touched it a few times in the past, this was the first time he had held it in his hand, so it did feel a little strange. Xiang Cheng let out a moan and grabbed JIXIAN's wrist, trying to get him to let go. JIXIAN, however, just switched to his other hand instead, smearing essential oil all over Xiang Cheng's cock. JIXIAN's whole face was red, his nervousness shooting through the roof. Holding that iron rod-like thing, he tried his best to sit down on it. Fuck, it hurt so much. JIXIAN felt like he was about to be torn apart, that thing was really too big. He tried his utmost to endure it, telling himself, if they can do it in gay porn, I can also do it. I can. Countless cries echoed in his heart as JIXIAN endured the initial pain and sat down further, so that Xiang Cheng's cock could go even deeper into his body. The second that he sat down, Xiang Cheng held his breath, before he swallowed. There was a bit of pain, but it wasn't the tearing kind of pain, it was the kind of pain stemming from going too deep. JIXIAN thought, this doesn't feel good at all, alright. He had already gone soft from the previous pain and couldn't feel that kind of happiness that would make him moan at all. JIXIAN didn't move at all as he sat on Xiang Cheng's cock. Even moving just slightly would hurt a lot. JIXIAN, what are you doing? Xiang Cheng's voice was a bit hoarse. JIXIAN didn't dare to respond and instead moved a bit up and down that cock. Hurt so much. Xiang Cheng panted and sat up, and JIXIAN instinctively reached out to hug him. Xiang Cheng hugged him back tightly and didn't say anything. JIXIAN suddenly felt a bit distressed. In that moment when the two of them hugged, JIXIAN really wanted to kiss him. He kissed Xiang Cheng's ear, and Xiang Cheng put his head against JIXIAN's shoulder. JIXIAN took the initiative to move a bit, and Xiang Cheng held his breath. JIXIAN was about to die of embarrassment, but the pain had lessened a bit. Xiang Cheng raised his head, as if he felt JIXIAN's face flush. JIXIAN awkwardly turned his head away. Xiang Cheng drew his entire cock out of JIXIAN slowly, and JIXIAN trembled as it came out. There seemed to be a kind of strange and embarrassing pleasure. JIXIAN swallowed a few times, and Xiang Cheng slowly thrust back inside, silent the entire time. That feeling was too embarrassing, but at least in this quiet space, JIXIAN could focus solely on the sensation of Xiang Cheng thrusting into him. Both of their breaths had slowed. Xiang Cheng moved back and forth a few times, hugging JIXIAN to him. He changed their positions so that JIXIAN was lying down, his legs spread apart. Xiang Cheng was the one who took the initiative now, entering him. Ah! Suddenly JIXIAN felt pleasure, and although it was still accompanied by a painful fullness, it was as if Xiang Cheng had flicked on a switch inside his body. When his eyes had adjusted to the light, he saw Xiang Cheng rise up, his chest and abdomen was straining as he thrust that thick and hard cock into his body. JIXIAN immediately felt a happiness he had never experienced before. That was the huge happiness unique to sex, making JIXIAN's head spin and eyes water. Xiang Cheng's body was so beautiful that JIXIAN couldn't help but reach out to touch, pressing one hand against his abs. The place where they were connected was covered in essential oils, and as it was warmed by their body heat, it gave off a fruity scent. JIXIAN held back his moans, finding it strange that he had adjusted so quickly to the invasion of such a behemoth. Especially when Xiang Cheng's rough guy pressed against a certain point in his body, there was a tingling numbness that spread across his entire body. Xiang Cheng panted as he held onto JIXIAN's feet, and while still keeping himself inside, he turned JIXIAN around so that his back was pressed against Xiang Cheng's chest. Xiang Cheng didn't say a word as he hugged JIXIAN's waist and began to pump slowly. JIXIAN's pupils widened, this position directly targeted his prostate, and the spot that the head of Xiang Cheng's cock pressed against again and again was the most sensitive spot in his body. Ah! Ah! JIXIAN's suppressed moans came out, and he couldn't control his voice. Xiang Cheng's other hand covered his mouth, and JIXIAN's entire body trembled in pleasure. Water flowed from the corner of his eyes, and he couldn't hold back his wee-wee noises. He lost control of his crotch's responses as Xiang Cheng kept thrusting, his own cock so hard that it was weeping fluid. Xiang Cheng's heavy breaths rang in his ear, and he slammed into him violently a few times, his whole body more or less pressing against JIXIAN's. The tip of JIXIAN's cock rubbed repeatedly against the sheets, and this stimulation made his entire mind go blank, the pleasure of his climax rolling over him like the tide. He came. This was the first time that he had been fucked into coming. His lower body was sore, his opening ached uncontrollably, and Xiang Cheng's entire body was pressed against him as JIXIAN trembled. Xiang Cheng! JIXIAN! JIXIAN swallowed a few times, and he was still trembling as he panted. In the darkness, Xiang Cheng let out a long breath. The night passed. JIXIAN lay on his side, his face burning. He felt very tired, but he also felt so good. Xiang Cheng didn't say a word, opening the door and heading out to take a bath. JIXIAN was thunderstruck. God, what have I done? JIXIAN sat up, hurriedly pulled out a paper towel, and wiped away the marks of him coming on the bed. Xiang Cheng washed quickly this time, so quickly that he seemed to have just rinsed himself with some water. When JIXIAN was halfway through wiping, he heard the sound of water stop in the bathroom outside, and he quickly threw away the paper towel, lay down, and pretended to be asleep. Xiang Cheng came in, set the fan to a slower mode, scratched his back and lay down to sleep. JIXIAN thought to himself, he actually didn't say anything, is this a tacit endorsement of our relationship? Will he say something later in the middle of the night? Will he express some of his thoughts or feelings? He didn't dare move at all, and pretending to be asleep right now was the only way for him to relieve his embarrassment. However, JIXIAN pretended to be asleep too seriously. Before Xiang Cheng could express his feelings, he had already fallen asleep for real. In his dreams, he saw a stretch of dark, unbroken mountains all around him. Dad. Mama. The boy's hoarse, heartbroken voice made JIXIAN's ache. Don't die ah. That was Xiang Cheng's voice. The boy's voice had the rooster-like quality of puberty, and his voice broke on every word. He had shouted himself hoarse, and his voice carried a despairing and silent rage. Ah, Xiang Cheng's hysterical voice echoed across the mountains. Xiang Cheng! JIXIAN shouted fearfully. He found himself standing on a row of bamboo rafts, a bright green light in his hand. Xiang Cheng! JIXIAN shouted, where are you? Revenge. A woman's low voice muttered brokenly. Endure the humiliation so that you can help Dad and Mama, get revenge. From the river bank came the sound of Xiang Cheng's sobs, like those of a young trapped animal, roaring with hatred and resentment. In the vast darkness, JIXIAN carried the lamp as he floated downstream, staring fixedly at Xiang Cheng at the river back. The green light shone over the riverbank, where Xiang Cheng was, dark and skinny, knelt holding his mother's body, his face buried in her shoulder. The torrential rain fell earth-shatteringly, pouring mercilessly into the dark woods. Xiang Cheng! JIXIAN shouted. Bright dots of light meandered through the mountains towards them. The mountains were now full of people, circling closer and closer to the riverbank. Run away! Get revenge! Get up! Xiang Cheng! JIXIAN held the lamp and yelled at Xiang Cheng. Xiang Cheng suddenly looked up and saw JIXIAN on the bamboo raft. In the bathroom, the sound of water rang out in a hualawala. It dripped down from the top of Xiang Cheng's head, flowing across his strong body, streaming down along his lean muscles, converging at his calves, only to drip past his bare ankles. The water droplets on his neck and back reflected a bright yellow light. JIXIAN's cell phone had been placed on the shelf and was playing music. I shot for the sky, I am stuck on the ground. So why do I try? I know I'm gonna fall down. Xiang Cheng raised his head and let the hot water splash down on the bridge of his nose. He closed his eyes, and remembered the scene from a few months ago. On the night that spring had shifted into summer. Promise me one thing. JIXIAN lay in bed and turned his head. Xiang Cheng lowered his head slightly, his eyebrows twitched, and he motioned for him to talk. The Lihun pollen floated slowly in from the window, like a river of stars. In the room, JIXIAN tightly grasped the edge of the quilt as he looked at Xiang Cheng for a while. Suddenly, he let go, hugged Xiang Cheng's neck, and kissed him on the lips. Xiang Cheng! JIXIAN! Xiang Cheng instinctively moved away, a bit at a loss. JIXIAN suddenly seemed to understand something, and his eyebrows furrowed deeply as he looked away. Tears sprung immediately to his eyes then, welling up in them. Xiang Cheng looked away, hesitating for a long time, as if he wanted to say something. JIXIAN jumped out of bed and ran out of the living room. Wait. Xiaoduo. Xiang Cheng tossed the quilt off himself and chased after him. With a paw sound, the ceiling light in the bathroom went out. Xiang Cheng turned to the side and pulled at the light cord, only for the bulb to burn out. In the dark, only the screen of the cell phone shone with a blue light. Xiang Cheng took a deep breath in the dark. The sound of the water in the bathroom was like that of a torrential rain, the kind that covered the heavens and the earth. Son. A voice gasped in his ear, carrying a sense of danger with it. Promise Mama 3 things. In the dark, snakes slithered through the mountains and forests, everywhere, hidden in the dark. The humans in this world are all very cunning. The sound of the snakes faded away. The first thing, you have to bear the heavy burden of humiliation. Listen to your dad, become an exorcist, and deceive all of them. Protect yourself well. Look for opportunities. Get revenge. Xiang Cheng's lips moved. You have to get revenge, remember to avenge us. Always remember, those exorcists killed your father and mother. A snake appeared behind Xiang Chen, its eyes glowing red. It put its head on his shoulder and flicked out a bright red forked tongue. Promise me, son, that you will remember each and every one of them, and never forget them for your entire life. Go to them, let them believe you, and then kill all their families, kill everyone. The second thing. Don't trust humans. Even if, after a long time, you like someone. You are a Yao, not a human, and no one will like you. Their promises are all false, you are the son of a snake Yao. The third thing, don't love anyone. That is a deadly corruption, a gut-piercing poison. Mama will take a piece of your heart away, and then you will not be like Mama. Xiang Chen couldn't help sobbing, and his throat contracted. Promise me, her voice unexpectedly rose to a shriek. Promise me. Xiang Chen had 4 bloody nail marks on his arm. Jomokuo, Chenzhen, Kita. Exorcists, old and young, men and women, their silhouettes flashed past like shadows on a trotting horse lamp. Chinchi. His father shook the pole and gently dipped it into the river. Ah! Xiang Chen, who was a child, sat in the bow of the boat, looking up at his father. Your mama will come back. His father's voice was rich and steady. It's not that she didn't want us. Xiang Chen nodded. Don't be afraid, his father said, in the future, you will be like your dad. You will meet someone you like, just like your mom and dad. Xiang Chen closed his eyes. I can't find another way around. And I don't want to hear the sound of losing what I never found. On a spring night, Xiang Chen held a pillow in his hands as he stood outside Zhi Ziaduo's room. Can I come in and sleep? Zhi Ziaduo looked at Xiang Chen, smiled, and moved aside, vigorously patting the empty space next to him. Of losing what I never found. Hey. Wang Ren took the air conditioner remote control and pressed it a few times, beep beep. The air conditioner began to cool, then turned it off, then he made it cool the place before turning it off again. It's not broken Wang Ren said to himself. Xiang Chen closed the shower, shook open the bath towel, and walked out of the bathroom. End chapter.